These are the plaintiffs, Letitia and Darren Holmes. Letitia says they hired the defendant to cater their wedding, and the servers who worked for the defendant looked like they just walked off the street. Their hair was frazzled, their shirts were untucked, and they were wearing sandals. There was also a food shortage. Their big day was a big fiasco, and they're here suing for a refund of $1,275. This is the defendant, Jacqueline Johnson. She says she had plenty of food for the plaintiff's guests, and if someone didn't eat, it's because they weren't sitting at the tables. The plaintiffs got everything that was stated in their contract. They had a wonderful day and are now just trying to save some money by getting a refund from her for trumped-up causes. She's accused of failing a bride. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,500 for defamation and lost wages.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Letitia Holmes and Darren Holmes, congratulations.
Thank you.
You were married this, what month? April?
December of last year, 2018.
December of last year, okay. You hired Ms. Johnson and Jack of all trades, events and decor to assist you in the wedding.
Yes.
You were paying her $3,100 for what? Catering, decorating, anything else?
Both of them. She
Both
was
catering
supposed to decorate and cater.
Okay.
Yes.
And according to you, she breached the contract.
Yes.
What went wrong?
Well, when I met with Jackie, we met back in November of 2018. I came to Jackie with pictures.
I'm sorry, when was your wedding?
It was December 2018.
Of 2018? You met her a month before your wedding?
Yes. Why? Because we were going to the courthouse. That was already planned. But we figured out after we had planned our wedding, we had money. So
What'd you do? Find it on the couch?
No, we got a wedding gift.
Okay.
So the wedding gift allowed us to go ahead and start planning for a reception.
Okay.
We wanted our friends to be present for our big day.
Okay.
So we went along, we went to her with pictures and everything and all my vision.
Right. Can I just ask you, your vision was for a reception a month later or no?
It was supposed to be February 2019.
Okay, so you were actually getting married at the courthouse in December.
Yes.
And then in February, you would have a big reception
Yes,
for everybody.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So you see her in November.
We see her in November. I go to her. I have plans laid out. I have
And so tell me
drawn
just a little bit
pictures.
about your vision.
Well, my vision was a royal vision, royalty. We had crowns for myself, my husband, my family, my daughter, son, and mom. We also had visions for our guests to show up the same way. We as African American, we are not invited to royal events. We know of no royal people. So I wanted to bring royalty to
I'm
my
not invited
friends.
to royal events.
Hey, come on, you're Judge Millian.
No, I'm not, I can tell you right now that I have not been invited to any royal events.
You're next, okay, for our next one. So I had such a vision, even down to the smell. I wanted plug-ins in the walls. I wanted to bring them to the kingdom. Therefore, I wanted a lot of gold bling. I had my colors, gold, red, and white, all set out, the layout set out.
At any point in time, between the time you first met her and the time and the day of your wedding, were you unpleased about anything? Or it's how the wedding was actually executed that displeased you?
It was actually the way it was executed. We had some little flaws here and there, but what I did is I stayed professional.
Okay, may I see the contract?
Yes.
If you have an original, what I'd like to see is the original, not a
Okay.
copy.
All right.
I have it if she doesn't.
I think I have a copy.
All right, just show me your copy, because I'm kind of concerned that each of you have submitted contracts, and the two contracts say two different things. All right, I am confused about some stuff. I'm gonna need you
Ma'am.
to step up a second, because there's two different handwritings on these contracts, and I wanna understand whose handwriting it is. Whose handwriting is this?
Mine's
Okay. Whose handwriting is this?
hers.
Okay, why is she writing on the contract as opposed to you?
She wrote on it after she filed her lawsuit.
Okay, so your implication is that she's doctoring this up.
Exactly.
Except I have a problem, and I'm gonna tell you what my problem is. This is the evidence you have submitted to court. And in the evidence you have submitted to court, there are contracts that are in your possession with that same handwriting. So how are they in your possession if she doctored them up after she took them home?
Show me.
What's that?
That's the paper that she actually brought to me with someone else's work. That this is not a contract. This is just a copy of something that she brought, of telling me what she wanted or what she thought she wanted. This is something that she
Okay,
brought
so
to
you
me.
acknowledge that everything that's written here is
not a part of my contract.
No, just a second. She doesn't give it to you for you to fan yourself with.
I understand.
It's something she was asking for, and something that was, I mean, if you've got it and it's written down and you've taken it from her, you've accepted it, how is it this isn't part of the contract? So this is her handwriting, and this is a piece of paper that she gave you that you got because you gave it to me. All right, go ahead and go back.
Thanks.
All right, so now what happens?
On that evening, my husband and I walked in. First, my mom and daughter, son walked in, and they were supposed to make the first entrance. They did. They made the entrance. We're standing out, we're waiting. Jackie and a few other people were taking pictures of us. Our guests are standing, and we were at a standstill. All of a sudden, Jackie says, "Let me go and get your carpet." I said, "I'm sorry, my carpet? My family didn't walk on a carpet?" So she takes off, and she stays gone for about 8 minutes. I do have a video that shows.
What were you doing while she was gone?
We're standing there, and I'm sweating, and I'm about to lose it, Judge. However, I kept my composure. She finally came in, and she had a black carpet. The video shows that our dancers that we had there, they were called by her workers to help put the carpet down, and they weren't there for that. But anyway, they helped. And it was a black carpet, and they threw
And
some...
your contract, you do acknowledge that the contract specifically calls for a red one. What went wrong with the carpet?
Before she asked that if her dancer, she had a bunch of kids, about 13 kids, she wanted them to actually practice at the wedding before she actually came
Inside
out.
the venue.
Inside the venue. So what they did was they went outside to practice, but they wanted to do a run on the actual order.
Inside the venue.
Inside.
So they
what
went outside to practice, and then they went inside the venue to
do
a rehearsal or whatever.
rehearsal. And what happened was it was a little rainy outside, and they marked up the red carpet. So what I did was I made the conscious decision, since I couldn't sweep the dirty marks off, I rolled it up and I got the black carpet out of the car for her.
Right,
and
but why was that happening while she was standing there with 8 minutes?
Because that's what she wanted. I didn't want to give her a dirty carpet, ma'am.
Now, had anybody told you at that point that the carpet is black and not red because dancers had whatever? So that's the answer for the red carpeting. What else went wrong? There was supposed to be fruit. According to you, there's supposed to be fruit and bread and butter on every table.
Yes.
And according to you, there wasn't.
There was not fruit, bread, or butter on the tables.
There was no fruit, no bread, and no butter on any table?
On any table.
Now, according to you, you have videos showing that there's bread and butter on the table?
I have a photo.
What was the dance? These are the dancers? What was the dance?
Those are the dancers. They were mime dancers, and we had chosen 2 songs that we really liked, and they opened for us and they closed for us. And I have a picture too, Your Honor, of the table with no bread and butter.
Show me your picture. That's why I'm asking, was it some of the tables that didn't or all of the tables that didn't?
It seems like they ran out of time. They were very negligent. She had already told me that
what's the
she
deal
had
with
another
this
event.
long table that doesn't have it?
There wasn't any guests there. She wanted it to be hot per our conversation here. She initially wanted 80 plus guests to be there. Only 23 showed up. So there was no sense in wasting bread to where it would be cold on that area where there was no one sitting. And we went through that via text message before her wedding about the hot and the, about the it's
Let's
not
talk
being
about,
hot.
tell me about the fondue fountain. According to you, that's not part of the contract?
No, actually I have 2 events. Normally I'm very popular in the community, so I normally tend to do 2 events per day. This is the actual contract for the very first event, which was before her event, that clearly has the fountain. I only own 1. So there was no contract for her to receive a fountain. She was only supposed to receive a fondant cake, and which she received that day, not a fountain.
Was there a second, there was a date change, right?
Yes,
And there was a second contract.
it's the same contract. But what we did was we crossed off the 2-9 because she wasn't.
Where's a contract with the 2-9 crossed off?
You should have it.
I do have this one that says April 13, 2019, changed date.
That's what it is.
Tell me something. Where is bread and butter written? Because you agree, so it's just down here where you wrote it? So do you have any contracts that say that you're supposed to have a chocolate fountain?
No, the
Do
reason.
you have any text between her where that's something you guys amended later?
No, it's all verbal agreement as far as
I know,
the
but that's
fountain.
a problem. You know how that's
as
a
far
problem?
as the fountain.
Okay,
Because,
but
Your
so
Honor,
let's talk about each thing because you know that's where the breaches
yes,
come in. The breaches are
fruit
cumulative.
Was supposed to be contracted, but if you look at the contract, no food is there. No chicken, no fish.
Well,
So
it does say
therefore-
bread and butter on table, and
Right.
it does say fondant cake, and
Yeah.
it does say cookies, apple cider toast. Nowhere does it say fruit, right?
Or any food. It doesn't say fruit or any food.
Yeah, I know it
because
should.
She
it
was
should
writing
say,
stuff on another
no,
piece
I
of
agree.
paper.
Where's the paper that talks about what you're going to serve? Why isn't that in your contract?
This is the menu that we actually wrote in front of each other. Well, I wrote it while she agreed.
Is that piece of paper part of your contract? 'Cause
That's
it's-
why- that's
it's
why
not
I didn't
in.
give
Can
it to
I have
you.
it? Yeah, you can just hand it to my bailiff.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, this is your handwriting, right?
Yes. She did
Chicken
text
breast, swai, medley mix, dinner rolls. Now, it's the same paper. Okay, so on the other side is everything she wrote, and then on this side is your handwriting, but this part of it is part of the contract, but this part isn't?
That's why I didn't submit that to you.
Except for that.
Only because
I'm
she
sorry,
asked for
wait
the
a second,
food.
wait a second, stop. It is your job. You are the professional, you are the vendor.
You're right.
To make sure that the understanding is very explicit between you two. When I just asked you, well, where's the understanding of what's going to be served? That's why I didn't hand this to you, because it doesn't help your case. Okay. But this is the only place that what you're serving, which is what you're getting paid $3,100 for, is written. Why isn't it written on a regular contract where it should be? That way there can be no dispute that fruit wasn't discussed. You're saying, well, if you want to know what was supposed to be there, Judge, look at this other paper. But only look at one side. Don't look at the front side, because the front side might mention a fountain. What does the front side mention?
Not a
Dessert
fountain.
table, gold table cloth with red overlay and backdrop, cheesecake, candy apples, M&Ms, lollipops, cookies, not fruit kind of people.
That's just all the stuff that she wrote.
Okay, in fairness, this also doesn't say fruit. So is there anywhere where you mention I want fruit on the table?
Okay, here's one communication. I know I have something.
No, about fruit.
Email.
About fruit.
Fruit and
Awesome,
all.
awesome. Jackie, please pay close attention to everything highlighted in yellow. Reminders, red carpet, fondue fountain on top of bar. You got an email on February 20th, which was 2 months before the event, where she mentions fondue fountain on top of bar. If you got that email, why didn't you answer it and say, there's no fondue fountain in your contract?
What I did was I texted her and told her that we need to reintervene because fondue fountain was not available. It was
Okay,
actually
hold on.
for the event that was
Got
already
it?
booked.
So do you have a text where you tell her that? No. This is after the event. I don't care what everybody says after the event. I want beforehand, when she texts you in April.
She didn't text me.
No, I'm sorry. When she emails you in February and tells you fondue fountain on top of bar, what is your response to this email?
I picked up the phone and we talked to her.
Oh, now it's on the phone? Now you don't have text evidence of...
Okay, but I have text evidence telling her that this is my
Okay, so there's
evidence.
no response to the email.
Fondue
Listen to
was
me.
not in her contract.
Stop.
It was in someone else's contract.
Stop. Listen to me. You have a client who tells you fondue fountain on top of bar. Mm-hmm. And then there is no written evidence on your part going back and saying, this is incorrect, this isn't part of your contract.
Correct.
You had said, in text, I told her, no, wait. So I expect to see a text in February when this email was sent. I'm seeing a text after the wedding. That doesn't count.
Okay.
I want to know what your response was to this, and your answer now is, I verbally told her.
Okay.
Right, did she verbally call you and say, there's no fountain? Right. Okay, so now let's put that one to a side. Tell me let's focus on the food servers, because you had a big objection to the food servers and server attire. Where are the servers? Is this the server?
Me.
You? Were you barefoot? Did I have to see your toes at my wedding?
Yes, because I wear slip resistant.
Why can't you wear slip resistance where I
I
don't
didn't
need to
want
see
to
your
wear
toes?
the ones with their clothes in. I wore the one that was outside.
Yeah, I know, but
So
that's
what
my
I'm saying-
wedding, and I don't
was
really
more
want you
specific.
open-toed at my wedding. I
Okay,
mean,
well, she didn't
kinda-
hire me. She
Have a picture.
Yeah, I don't care. You're doing a wedding. Don't wear sandals. That's the kind of.
That's not sandals. They're water resistant. I mean, like.
Okay, they're sandals your toes are showing, all right?
Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm pretty chill. I live in Florida. I'm from Miami. I get
Right.
it. Okay, my girls barely wear clothes, all right? I get it. I understand, but also, you know, you're doing a wedding. It's kind of not that professional, but anyway. Oh, she didn't hire me, she did. It's her wedding. I mean, come on.
You're right. You're right.
She's taking a picture, which is kind of funny because
Of
it's
me?
kind of cute. Okay. You have a counterclaim against her for $1,500 for lost wages, defamation, and a red carpet that you say was ruined. Tell me about the lost wages and defamation.
Okay, she went on my business page and she made a post defying my company. She also told people, oh, my decorations was beautiful, but her attitude sucks. Don't book her, things of that sort.
Okay. Let me see that.
And quickly, I deleted her comment.
You quickly delete, can you delete, this is what, on your Facebook page, so you can delete somebody's nasty comment?
Yeah.
So how are you defamed?
I'm
if
defamed
you quickly
because
deleted it?
a potential customer that wanted to book me for August was like, no, my friend didn't like it, so I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, can you prove that?
No.
Okay. And you have numerous statements from people saying, my food was cold, I didn't have bread, there was no fruit, but the fruit thing didn't go very far for you. Do you have your Facebook post that you posted? Can I just have it? Maybe
Thank you.
if I read it, you can tell me if this is what you're talking about. Please be very careful of this company. Joe Ted, is that?
It's shorted for Jack of all trades event.
Oh, Jack of all trades is not professional. They do not hold themselves accountable for mishaps. We cannot get that day back. We are taking them to court for negligence and verbal and written contract. Fruit on tables as per contract. It should have been fruit on the tables along with bread, butter, and rolls. There was no fruit, no rolls. Rolls were given to certain tables only. The couple's chair, royal family was not served first. This was a big deal to you, but that's nowhere in the contract either about the royal family being. Few of my guests also said they had to ask for their food and it was cold. The cue card system didn't work. Server attire and hygiene was not up to par. They looked tired, hair frazzled, their appearance was not professional. Verbal agreements to change fruit from the tables to a fondue fountain. If you change fruit from the tables to a fondue fountain, then why are you complaining about fruit on the table?
Because that's what we did when we sat down for the consultation. Fruit was supposed to be on the tables. Then we went for another meeting where every time I go pay her, we sit down and we talk.
Why have you been talking at this trial about fruit not being on the table if you know fruit wasn't supposed to be on the table?
No. I was talking more of the fondue fountain and the fruit not being there at all.
Okay, listen,
Whether it was
I don't
on
think
the
you're following
table-
what I'm saying, so I'm
Okay.
going to need you to follow what I'm
Okay.
saying. Verbal agreements to change fruit from the tables to a fondue fountain. That means that you know fruit wasn't supposed to be on the table.
Right.
Well, then why
Right.
today were you telling me there was no fruit on the table? You know why there's no fruit on the table. Yeah.
have something to say.
I'm going to let you say something because your entire marriage is going to be her talking for you. Go.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. You know, we do so many of these cases where people get pissed off at caterers over weddings and whatnot. How do you protect yourself to make sure you're going to get what you expect to get? What do you say?
Just meet with them beforehand and kind of
But
see.
then they say, oh, I thought you meant meatloaf, or whatever. You know what I mean? How do you do it? How do you protect yourself?
Well, you have to have the tastings ahead of time, and you just got to make sure that all the food that they're providing is what's in your contract as well.
And how do you do that in a contract to make it really specific? You know what I mean? What do you say? Do you actually describe the preparation of the food?
I think you have to actually have it itemized, like what items that you're going to get for either your appetizers or entrees or desserts.
I got you. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
It was my ideal to put the fruit on the table. Like, you can see the kings eat back in the day. They just grab grapes and all that from the table.
Yeah.
They changed from putting it on the table
Who
to
changed?
understand. Those two.
Oh, right. You had one request. I want fruit on the table. And the women in your life just went off on the side and agreed to some silly fondue fountain, and you didn't get your fruit, and
not
she
even
didn't
that.
get her fondue
Even
fountain.
that, they agreed to take it off the table and put it by the front.
Yeah, so that's how all the mix-up comes. She came to
I'm
me
going
and
to tell
says,
you
"I
guys,
got
I'm
my
done.
fountain."
I want everybody to listen to what I'm going to tell you. I need everybody to listen to what I'm going to tell you. A contract is what we call a meeting of the minds. This side agrees to give up something, in our case, money, and this side agrees to provide something in return for the money that is what this side wanted. There is nowhere where this is more important than in the planning of an event that's important to somebody, whether it's a wedding or a sweet 16s or a retirement, whatever it is. This is their one time, especially a wedding, because hopefully it's your one time. if you're lucky. So I am slightly concerned about all the handwriting on pieces of paper and about how your contract doesn't have, like, with specificity. And I am advising you to change the contract to include that piece of paper that you later just throw in about, hey, this is the food we talked about. As much as possible needs to be in a contract that everybody agrees to and has handwriting on. And if there is an amendment to a contract, it should also be in writing and put as part of the contract. I know that it's a living, breathing event, and that what happens is people change, or people think one thing and people think another, and then people email and text back and forth. If there is a change to something or a specification on something, that needs to be incorporated into the contract. When I've got a bride who says the fondue fountain in an email, and I don't see a response from you, I tend to believe that the fruit was changed to the fondue fountain and you forgot that. When I've got a bride who has a very specific request, I understand why you decided, well, I'm just going to roll out a black one. But that should have been something that she was left to decide, whether it was so dirty it couldn't be used, whether it should have been, there's not even evidence that it got dirty. I don't know whether you just brought the black one. Do you have a picture of the red dirty one? Okay. Do you have one that shows me it's in her venue?
It's right when I pulled it out.
No. Do you have a picture that shows that it's in her venue as opposed to a close-up?
No, it's outside.
Okay, let me see it anyway. Let me see it anyway. Why was it outside?
Because I pulled it out so that she wouldn't witness a dirty carpet and complain about the dirty carpet.
I think that should have been left up to her to decide, because I'm looking at it, and it's not even that dirty. I mean, I expected there's a little black smudge, but I really think that that's her place to decide that and not yours. Are you going to get $1,275 back? I don't think I think that's excessive, because I think a lot of the things that you claim were part of the contract, we've talked about them and I don't see them in there, like serving first and all that other stuff. This is an art and not a science at this juncture. But there's no more testimony. You've left this to my discretion because so much of this is fuzzy. So in this art form, I am going to decide what I think should be returned. I find on the counterclaim against you, 0. And on your claim against her, I'm going to order her to return $750. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff does get some money back. Ms. Johnson is on her way out of the courtroom. The defendant, what are you thinking now?
I'm thinking that you should never trust everybody's money, and definitely don't trust anyone with a wig and a girdle on.
No, that's not fair to say.
That is.
You think so? All right, well, she's not happy. She blurts on out of the courtroom. But she does have to give money back, $750. Ms. Holmes, you okay with this?
I am just wonderful.
You're wonderful.
I'm wonderful because justice has been served. As they say, it's really the principle of the matter. It's not about the money. We can't get that day back. The money gives us something in our pocket, but it can't bring that day back. I thank the judge for her ruling, and I am happy.
How's married life?
Married life is wonderful. We hate that it started out this way, but it started with a fight, and we're going to fight all the way through if we have to.
Do you agree with that?
I agree, man.
Oh, man.
What
a smile you have.
And when I say fight, I mean fight obstacles, not each other.
Okay, very good
That's
for you.
right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
I mean, look, the more specific, the better in these menus. Right in the contract, even ingredients that you expect that are going to be there in condiments or whatever it is, as specific as you can get, that will avoid a lawsuit.